And Schiff, someone mentioned Schiff too, and they said they were studying Schiff, and Peter Schiff is, and we mentioned him earlier. Peter Schiff is a very smart guy. Unfortunately, he knows so much that isn't so, as the old saying goes. And it's very easy as a Bitcoiner when you listen to someone for, I'd say, 30 seconds to a minute, right? Maybe max. You can tell just by the words someone uses, do they understand what they're talking about or not? And that's if you're an expert yourself. Otherwise, if you're not an expert, you tend to get Gell-Mann amnesia, and you think, hey, if this person says they're an expert and then they're talking, but you have no idea what they're talking about, you just kind of take it as gospel. It's just like human nature, and that's Gell-Mann amnesia. So we do that a lot in media and politics. That's why they put every under title, they say experts say, oh, the sea level is rising, whatever experts say. It's just like, because it's just like it's a clickbait title to get people, just, they know that people's brain just like accepts a lot of it immediately because they're not an expert in climate science, or they're not an expert in Bitcoin. They're not an expert. That's why they say, oh, Bitcoiners are psychopaths. Oh, Bitcoin could crash. Bitcoin's a Ponzi. Bitcoin boils the oceans. Bitcoin, like, it's all these things. And look, it's a 4-letter word 17 years later. It just keeps growing. The fundamentals of the network, the hash rate, the security of it just keep growing. Everything keeps getting stronger and better. So those that need to know. If you know, you know. But, you get at the price you deserve. And, it sucks saying that, but it's also true. And so people who are going to fight it, the ego, the pride, the hubris, Peter Schiff being probably the most public example of that, and just not being able to put his ego aside. It's blatantly obvious. And when you hear him talk about Bitcoin, and then he says something that totally rug pulls what he's saying, like, well, they're just gonna, print some more, Satoshi's gonna like backdoor it or something like that. And so like, he sounds very smart, is very sinister, because he's very smart in the legacy system, the plumbing of the old system, history, things of that nature. But he is blinded, unfortunately, by fiat, which is really the gold and silver market, which is paper. It's all really done on paper now. There's no one, we're not final settlement through gold and silver. And he runs a paper fund. He runs Euro Pacific Fund. So he's a paper guy. And so if he's over here talking Bitcoin and really grokking Bitcoin and putting in the 1,000 hours of work, then he's rug pulling himself, and he's blinded by those incentives. And that's where it's very difficult. And this was me 5 or 10 years ago too. Like, and I've tried to tell this story too, of like, I was that guy too 10 or 15 years ago with gold and silver and real estate. I come from those worlds, but you cannot see the Titanic sinking when you're on the Titanic. I mean, it's the analogy I use all the time. Only when you get on the lifeboat and start moving away can you see, oh my gosh, we did hit an iceberg, or there was something that struck it. We don't know what, looking at you, JP Morgan, and this thing's going down. And that's, you cannot see it. It is impossible. Someone mentioned this earlier too, so it made me think of this. You can't see it from the current financial system we're in. It's literally impossible. And so only when you back away, get on the life raft of Bitcoin, really, get into self-custody, start understanding what's happening, then can you see the scales falling from your eyes, and you can actually see the thing is starting to list. People are reading their newspaper clippings on the thing. Well, it can't sink. The US dollar network can't sink. It's impossible, guys. We price everything in dollars. What do you mean? You're insane, and you're jumping off on a life raft right now. People are voting for a new captain after the explosion happened. Well, that's like politics at this point. And then people are trying to jump into gold, and they're trying to jump into stocks, and that's just like shuffling deck chairs. I mean, that's like, what are you gonna do? You're still gonna be 12,000 feet under. And so that's the world we're living in. Ego, pride, and hubris.
Yeah. And I mean, anybody who promotes the idea of tokenized gold, you should question every other thing they say, because it's fundamentally flawed concept. It goes against the idea of owning gold. It's like, the reason to own gold is to have some level of sovereignty and ownership over your assets. And tokenizing it is not that. It's ridiculous.
In the podcast so he did a debate with Robert Breedlove, and he was saying how tokenized gold is not an IOU. It just represents gold. And Robert was like, sorry, it wasn't Robert Breedlove. It was Mark Moss. He's like, Mark Moss was like, but that's what an IOU is. It's
a representation.
Right. You don't have the thing. And he just couldn't grasp that concept. It's like, if somebody, like, if, let's say, for example, if you were to try to describe the internet to somebody 4,000 years ago, like, how would you even get to that point? That's where he is right now. Right? He just doesn't get it. He doesn't even understand what counterparty risk is. He doesn't understand that gold tokens have counterparty risk. So there's...
Yeah, and it's probably like self-serving, right? Maybe he does understand all of these, but as Brandon pointed out, he benefits from paper gold. He has a paper gold fund. This is his business, and he's benefiting from us talking about him right now because of his relation to Bitcoin. In my opinion, this guy is a marketing genius.
Yeah, genius.
He is going to get everyone who loves gold and hates Bitcoin is going to be a huge Peter Schiff fan. And there's a lot of those people out there, and they're going to support his business in some way. And that's why he's so relevant today. And Brandon, you said, and I agree, he's got great takes. There's some old speeches and lectures he's done, some stuff from the Occupy era.
Oh yeah, legend.
That's great. It's awesome. But he is totally just milking his connection to Bitcoin. I mean, he's invited to Bitcoin conferences. It's insane. And it's all just to enrich himself, in my opinion.
Yep. That's why I never answer him. I never answer him online. Like, I never hate talking about him, but people are bringing him up. So
I did it for the cufflinks.
Yeah.
The thing with Peter is, like, I think that in this world that we're moving into now, we're really going to notice the difference between something that's fake and something that's real. And gold is still real. So, like, Peter's going to do fine. And I think Peter also knows that the majority of his audience will never hold their own keys to Bitcoin. Like, it's the reality of things. As much as we say it's very easy to do, it's just a different generation of people. They don't trust things that they can't hold. They just don't understand it. They're so far away from it. So, you know, I hate to say it, but if I was in Peter's position, I don't know how much I would change either. Like, what would it benefit Peter right now to come out and say, hey, I've been wrong about gold for this amount of years. Bitcoin's a way to go. Sorry, everybody. I've been misleading you for the last 10 years. I'm an idiot. You guys were right. You're smart. I'm dumb. You're good looking. I'm not very attractive. Like, what's he supposed to come out and say here?
It's quite a hole to dig himself out of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but he also, like you guys mentioned there, he also benefits from, like, the whole debate, because it's making his audience grow. He's getting more energy, and that's what all these people want. So, I mean, I get it from Schiff's standpoint. I really think that deep down, Schiff knows that he's wrong.
He probably owns Bitcoin. Let's be real. Someone said in chat too. He probably does. I mean,
how would we know?
He's not a dumb guy.
His wife
just is a great marketer.
His
wife
is a great marketer.
His son does too. His son has like some large Bitcoin, public Bitcoin thing, I believe.
But here's the thing too, is like, if that's the case, he has a bunch of gold. He's great. He has some Bitcoin. He's great. His family has Bitcoin. They're great. Peter, to me, even though he's a shyster, he's a very smart guy. But it's not like he's out here pumping up like XRP or Solana that are clearly just like thin air shit, right? Yeah. Like, gold's something real. Like, it's going to have some value in this new world, even though it's going to significantly underperform Bitcoin. It's still going to have value. So nobody's going to be too mad at Peter Schiff at the end of this. I don't think, anyways. It's not like he's misleading his customer base into something that's worth nothing. Gold is still worth something. It's just not what Bitcoin is. And, you know, it just doesn't really make sense for him to change his stance at this point. Yeah,
you can't make a necklace out of Bitcoin. He's going to be rich if everybody wants gold necklaces. Because I don't know. It's my theory that a lot of things are going to get demonetized, and the vast majority of gold's value is its monetization, right? It's been monetized by central banks and individuals around the world who believe in the history of it, and they've been proved right. It does hold its value. It's in certain time frames, it's outperformed these productive assets like S&P 500, which is the 500 best companies in the best stock market of the world, right? So people that have been gold holders have been right about their thesis. They're just wrong that it deserves to be monetized into the future. It deserves to have been monetized in the past, and it simply just does not work. I mean, this is part of the thesis of Broken Money, Lynn Alden's book, where she said as soon as the telegraph was invented, information could travel faster than settlement, and gold no longer worked. In paper, gold was the only way to transfer ownership of assets to make deals when information could travel so fast as a telegraph. And now think about how fast information travels, and think about how much throughput there is in something like Lightning, and how much finality there is in the final settlement of a massive decentralized ledger like Bitcoin on chain, right? Which does, again, this, when it's not even, I mean, we've mentioned XRP and these other things a couple times, but they're not even worth mentioning because you're settling nothing with that. You're settling a decentralized and name only centralized ledger that can be corrupted, manipulated, and ultimately doesn't have any real value behind it because it is not secure and final.